What do I plan to do with the rest of my life? I intend to make some important changes. That's for one thing.
Changes? What kinds of changes?
That's precisely what I brought you in here to discuss.
Eden informed us you wish to see us, Mr. Worthington?
Yes. Hollister, I wanted all my family, closest business associates, and servants present. Will I make an announcement? Everyone in here depends on me to provide them with a living. And thus far, I've provided you all quite well. You would think my generosity would gain me your appreciation, if not affection. But apparently, what someone in here feels is resentment, perhaps even hatred. It has come to my attention that one amongst you is a traitor.
You suspect one of us to be your enemy?
Oh, I don't suspect. I know. Hence, I approve. Lauren. I had Lauren bring me this. Inside is the evidence of the traitor's duplicity. I promise you, before the evening is over, this person will pay dearly.
Edward, if you're planning to punish one of us in some way, why not just do it now and get it over with?
I was wondering the same thing, Mr. Winston, if you don't mind my saying so.
I intend to let this worm squirm a while before squashing it. I see you all brought me some gifts. After dinner, I'll open them, concluding with this, my birthday present to myself. But for now, let the festivities begin. What are we having for dinner, Ina?
Your favorite, sir. Roast beef, gravy, and whipped potato.
I can hardly wait. That sounds like a dinner to die for. As I'm sure you've guessed, that was the blackout to show the end of Act 1, Scene 1. In my mysteries, that's the scene where I usually introduce you to the characters and their relationships to one another. Since they and I told you something about them before the show began, the scene was a little bit shorter than normal. Now, let's get into Scene 2, about 2 hours later. This is the scene where the plot thickens. Make that, the plot like gravy thickens. I'm sorry, I just had to get the full title in there. Act 1, Scene 2.
Edward, darling, what you doing in here all by your lonesome? Nearly everybody's in the parlor playing games till you're ready to open the gifts and make your announcement. Well, they're going through the motions. Nobody's really interested in Monopoly or Clue.
I know a better game. How about you and I go and play one of our own, in private?
We can't do that, sugar. Not here. You know that.
I don't like being told no, Vicky Sue. You know that.
Now, don't lose your temper with me, sweet pea. Besides, for all I know, I might be the one you're planning to fire, or whatever.
Why? Have you been up to no good?
Of course not. I would never do anything to hurt you, honey lamb. You know that, but somebody could have told you I had been. Allegra, for instance, she hates me, you know. I just hate it when somebody hates me.
Allegra has never said a word against you.
If she hasn't, I'm sure it's because she's afraid to. I am quite sure that she suspects that I'm more to you than an employee, but she doesn't dare confront you about it because she knows if she forced you to choose between us, you'd toss her aside like a used Kleenex.
You think so?
Well, sure. You told me you made her sign one of those prenuptial agreements before you married her, right? Like the one Justine had to?
Of course. I'm too smart to let some fortune hunter take me for millions.
But before you divorce them, your wives get to live like queens. Allegra has run the merry-go-round long enough. It's somebody else's turn. Well, who knows? You might have finally found a woman who you want to live with for the rest of your life.
We'll see, Vicky Sue. After tonight, there could be quite a few changes around here.
Fine. If you'll excuse me, I need to slip into one of the upstairs bathrooms and freshen up. Don't you go and review your big announcement till I get back. I don't suppose you'd give me a hint as to who it is you plan to reprimand, would you?
I can't do that, Picky Sue.
Even if I pout?
Even if you pout.
Well, then I won't waste the pucker. They make little lines around your mouth anyway. I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
Here you are, Edward.
Were you looking for me, Beatrice?
Yes,
What is it?
I listened to what you said to all of us earlier, but I'm confused.
I expected that.
I think you're unhappy with one of us,
At least one.
and you're planning to punish someone.
Now that is my plan.
I hope it isn't me.
Why? Have you been naughty, Beatrice?
No, I don't think so. I try to be good. I try really hard.
Then what are you worried about?
Those papers in the envelope you put in your pocket. I'm afraid they're papers to, what do you call them? To put me in a home.
Commitment papers.
Yes, that's it. You wouldn't send me away, would you, little Papa? This is my home. I've lived here my entire life. Both of us have. I don't want to go anywhere else.
I'd hate to banish you, Beatrice. But if you've done something really bad and need to be punished,
I wouldn't. I haven't.
we'll see. Do you know a Mr. Jameson, Beatrice?
Jameson? No, I don't think so.
Paul Jameson.
Jameson. Paul Jameson. Oh, I know where I've heard that name. Just the other day, when I walked into the library, your lawyer, Miss Tate, was on the phone. And when she saw me, she said, "I'll get back to you, Jameson."
That's very interesting.
Yes, Mr. Worthington?
Hollister, my sister is tired. Thought you might have Ina brew her a cup of tea to refresh her.
I'll be glad to. Miss Beatrice, why don't you come with me?
With you? I suppose so. Where are we going, Hollister?
To the kitchen. We're going to have some tea,
A tea party?
if you'd like.
Oh, I would.
I thought a new perfume you wearing, Miss Beatrice. It's very nice.
Yes, it's called Primrose.
Primrose.
It'll only take a few minutes.
All right, if you insist. Drop the embers in the fire, Colonel. Why did you pull me away from the table? I own Boardwalk and Park Place, while I'm here I lose a fortune in rent.
For Pete's sake, Lauren, it's just a game.
One that you're losing. I hope you manage Edward's financial affairs better than you do at Monopoly. So, what did you want to see me about?
Those papers Edward had you bring here tonight. What are they?
Gracious Roy, you know I can't answer such a question. How long do you think Edward would retain me as his lawyer if I went around revealing privileged information?
It's just, look, I have transferred some of Edward's funds, quite a sizable amount, into an account in my name.
Why would you do that?
Well, there's a major television station going on the market that Edward has been interested in for a very long time. If the sellers knew they were interested, they'd double their asking price. So I plan to make them an offer in my name, and if they accept, I'll make the purchase, then I'll revert the property back to Worthington Enterprises.
I see.
Yes, now that I've explained it, but if Edward just sees the transfer and he doesn't know why I did it,
Say no more. Want some free advice? If I were you, I'd keep that get out of jail free card you drew.
this is no joking matter.
You're right. So why tell me? Why not tell Edward?
If I'm not the one he suspects of betraying him, there's no point worrying him with it anyway. He's never cared how I invested his funds for now anyway.
And why draw his attention to it if you don't have to, right?
Well, yes. So if you could just let me know if those papers refer to me.
I don't know.
What?
I said I have no idea what's in that envelope. Edward asked me to go by his office and look in the desk drawer and take out a blank envelope with a wax seal and bring it to him upon my arrival. So that's what I did.
I assumed you knew.
As did everyone else. I suspect Edward could have brought it home himself, but he had me do it to stir everybody up. The fact is, I am as much in the dark as you are about its contents.
So, they can involve you just as well as anyone else.
Me? I have nothing to feel guilty about. My conscience is clear.
Is it? Is it? Really?
Roy, the game's over. Justine won. I would have, but I hid my money and I forgot where I put it. Oh, here it is. Silly me. I must have deposited it in my bra. Now I'm flat busted. My goodness, you're a pair of gloomy gusses. What's the matter?
Nothing. I'm going for a breath of fresh air.
But Roy, it's going to storm! Oh dear, I wish he wouldn't go outside while it's lightning. He could be struck dead as a doornail, whatever that is.
Well, I guess that he figures that the wrath of Mother Nature is nothing compared to Edward's.
Huh? Lauren, we rolled for you and Roy. I took all your money. You went bankrupt.
So I heard.
I believe this belongs to me as well. The way I see it, get it while you can. Edward taught me that. Don't, Mom. Don't worry, dear. I'll hold my temper. At least until your father makes his announcement. After that, anything goes. I hate suspense. I love murder mysteries, but I always read the last chapter first to find out who did it. If you feel a rumble, it's Agatha Christie spinning in her grave. Calm down, Aggie. Murders make me nervous, and when I get nervous, I break out in hives. It's just awful. I'm sure it is. It's a good thing calamine lotion is so cheap. So, Lauren, how about telling us what's in that envelope Edward is carrying around near where his heart would be, if he had one? I'll make it worth your while.
As I told Roy earlier, I don't know.
You don't? I thought it might be... never mind.
Why should you be concerned, Deborah?
Well, Father arranged for the college to send him a copy of my grades each semester. Not that he cares about me, he's more interested in how his money's being spent. I've had some problems lately, and, well, I haven't done so hot in most of my classes.
And you're worried that Edward might cut off your tuition?
Yes. If he tries it, I'll cut off his head. Oh my goodness!
We don't know what he's planning until he decides to tell us. Until then, the contents of that envelope will remain a mystery.
I am back, Eddie, honey, fresh as a daisy. Oh! I thought Edward was in here. Have y'all seen him?
Not lately, which is how I like it.
Ever since his announcement, he's been lying low.
Not low enough. I prefer 6 feet under.
Mom, you don't mean that.
Don't I?
He was in here a little while ago. The French doors are open. I wonder if he went outside.
No, Roy did. I'd better find him before it starts to rain and he gets soaked. I don't think they make drip-dried tuxedos, do they? Excuse me. So, you've made yourself fresh as a daisy and are looking for Eddie, honey? Just how personal of a secretary are you, Peggy Sue?
I don't have the foggiest notion as to what you mean.
I think you do. It seems to me you're setting yourself up to be the third Mrs. Worthington the Third.
What Edward and I do is none of your business.
Maybe, and maybe not. If Eddie, honey, divorces Allegra and marries you, he might decide that 2 ex-wives are more than he wants to support. I was going to ask Lauren here if that mysterious envelope contains a prenuptial agreement for you to sign, but she says she doesn't know what's in it.
You don't?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Prenuptial agreement? I had thought it could be that.
I just made her day. Darn.
It just occurred to me that Peggy Sue could be my next stepmother.
Look on the bright side, Deborah. If you move back home, Peggy Sue will cook you grits for breakfast.
I'd rather eat gravel, and I'd rather die than live under this roof with Father again.
Excuse me. Miss Vickers had me set up coffee in the parlor if any of you want some.
Sounds good. Ladies?
I'd like a cup.
Why not? I might need the caffeine if I get to a fight before this shindig is over.
Mom?
Just kidding, dear. Maybe.
I was wondering when I'd catch you alone.
Mr. Blackwell,
It's Tony.
Miss Vickers said...
Don't mind what that old dragon told you. She's not around. You look worried, Edwina. What's the matter?
It's Miss Beatrice.
You mean Miss Looney Tunes?
Don't say that. She just gets a little confused sometimes.
I'm sorry, I meant that in the nicest way possible. Please, sit down. So, tell me about it.
Miss Beatrice's behavior has been very odd lately.
Lately?
More than usual. She's started taking things around the house.
Things? What kinds of things?
Mostly decorative items like a crystal ashtray, Fabergé.
Wait, Fabergé, we're not talking cheap trinkets here, are we?
I know. Some of the objects are very valuable.
So what does she do with them then? Sell them?
Oh no. She hides them to take out and look at later, except she tends to forget where she puts them. We, the servants, are always finding things stuck in the strangest places. We put them back with her.
So, what are you worried about then?
We're worried Mr. Whittington might have noticed that a few expensive items have been missing, and might think one of us on the staff is stealing them. Those papers he had the lawyer bring tonight, they could be our dismissal papers. Mine, Ines, Hollister's, Miss Vickers.
Don't worry. You can just tell them that you're all innocent. That his sister just has sticky fingers.
No! He'd have her put away. Don't you see? We all care for Miss Beatrice a great deal. If we weren't here to protect her.
Don't cry, Edwina. I hate to see a woman cry. When I do, I want to take her in my arms like this. Kiss her tears away, like this.
You mustn't. I mustn't.
Edward doesn't have to know. And what he doesn't know won't hurt us.
I can't. I'd be dismissed.
Everything will be fine, my sweet. Just trust me.
Oh, Tom.
Edwina!
Miss Vickers!
That bunch in there is slipping up coffee like camels at a watering hole. We'll need another pot. Tell Ina, please.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have an urge for something sweet, Mr. Blackwell, we'll be serving birthday cake shortly.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, you know exactly what I mean. Edwina's a sweet girl, and so is Edith. And I intend to see that they stay that way.
Is that a threat?
Take it any way you like. If I see you near any of the girls again, I'll tell Mr. Whittington what you're up to. It won't take much to have him throw you out by your ear.
Why?
Save your breath, you two-bit gigolo. Those girls are off limits. You've been warned.
That witch!
I trust you're not referring to me, brother dear.
No, it's that housekeeper, Mrs. Vickers.
Did she catch you trying to raid the pantry?
No. I was just trying to talk to the maid.
Uh-huh. I thought I told you to stay away from them. Mrs. Vickers is very protective towards those girls.
Yeah, that's what I found out.
Forget about the girl. We've got bigger worries.
Such as?
That document, or whatever it is Edward's carrying around,
Yeah, what about
it could be our eviction notice.
eviction? What do you mean?
I mean, they could be divorce papers. If I'm left out in the cold, you would be too, Tony. We'd both be penniless.
Divorce? Are things that bad between you?
Edward has grown tired of me, and I suspect he's already picked my replacement. At first, I thought he was simply having a mild flirtation with that Dixie cream donut, Peggy Sue. But now, I'm not so sure.
Peggy Sue, she's a knockout. But You're more sophisticated than she is. More, what's the word? Glamorous than she
20
is.
years older than she is. That hominy-fed hussy has one thing I don't, Tony. Youth. And that's one thing Edward's money can't buy me.
Edward's money? It should be your money too, if he hadn't made you sign that agreement.
But he did. I'm afraid the only way Edward's fortune could possibly become mine is if he were to drop dead before he divorced me.
Yeah, well, there's not much chance of that. Edward's is as healthy as a horse.
Well, even horses have accidents.
Allegra, what are you suggesting?
Nothing, Tony. Nothing at all.
Excuse me, Mrs. Worthington, Mr. Blackwell.
Yes, Hollister. What is it?
Anna is planning on gathering everyone in here where Mr. Worthington can cut the cake and open his gifts.
Very good, Hollister. Where is Edward?
I don't know, madame. I haven't seen him since dinner.
Yeah, neither have we.
I'll look for him upstairs. Tony, why don't you gather the others in here?
All right.
Hollister, make sure everything is prepared. We'll be right back.
As you wish, madame.
Oh, Hollister, you better have a towel handy, because by the end of this, someone will be sent home crying.
I'll keep that in mind, sir. If there's any justice, it will be you.
Set the cake here, Ina. That cake looks beautiful, Ina. It's too good for the likes of Mr. Remington, but thank you, Edith.
Watch what you say, Ina. You never know who may be listening.
If someone switches to that cold-hearted monster, let him. I quit long ago from Beatrice.
We all would have, but we must hold our tongues for her sake.
She'd be lost without us. Yes, I know, but he makes me so mad sometimes. At dinner, he even had the nerve to say my lips potatoes tasted a little odd. He did compliment the gravy, though. Said it was nice and thick. He knew he had made me angry. He was just trying to get on my good side. One of these days, I'll carve him up along with the roast beef. Oh, Ina!
That's quite enough. Mr. Worthington left instructions that champagne is to be served with cake. Ina, girls, come with me.
All right. Everything seems to be set up here. I must go check the downstairs bathroom for fresh hand towels.
Well. Seems my little letter has created quite the stir, just as I knew it would. Seems everyone under this roof has a lot to answer for, and they will, before the night is over.
We just made it! I told you the rain wouldn't hold off much longer. Oh, Edward. Boy went out for some fresh air. I had to find him.
And you did? Well, miracles never cease.
Oh, you're teasing. It wasn't easy, though. You have such a large estate.
Which, fortunately, I can afford. Can't I, Roy? I mean, my investments are sound, aren't they?
Of course, Edward. Why do you ask?
Oh, no reason. I just haven't checked the books in quite some time. We should go over them, say, next week.
I can schedule some time Friday evening.
Monday, 9 o'clock, sharp.
Whatever you say.
It's party time. Be seated, everyone.
My goodness, Edward. I thought you disappeared into thin air. Where on earth have you been?
Here and there. Have a seat, Piggy Sue.
Don't have a copy, sugar.
Place them on the tables.
Staff, remain with us, please. I would dream of leaving my servants out of the festivities.
Yes, Mr. Worthington?
And last to arrive, but not least, is my dear, loving wife, Allegra. Come in, have a seat. The moment you've all been anxiously awaiting for has arrived. Now, what should I do first? Cut the cake or open the gifts?
Yes.
The gifts? Are you sure? This cake sure does look delicious. You have done yourself, Ina.
Glad you liked it.
I don't know if I can resist it till later. What kind of cake is it, Ina?
Devil's food.
I suspect you're all just a little bit frightened at this point.
Oh, yes. I'm so frightened.
You're not really.
For goodness sake, stop toying with us. You know no one cares about the cake or the champagne or the stupid gifts. Tell us what's in the envelope.
So, you prefer cutting to the chase to cutting cake? Do you, my dear? What a heartless looking piece of paper. But what a commotion it has caused.
Of course it has, Edward. You're holding someone's fate in your hand.
More than one person's, possibly.
How right you are, daughter. How right you are.
Tell us who's Edward.
We're all dying to know what's in the envelope.
Get on with it.
Please.
If you insist, I'll let you do the honors, my dear. Open it.
They're blank. What? Is this your idea of a joke?
Not at all. Sit down. I've known for some time that some, if not all of you, have been keeping secrets from me. Perhaps even plotting and scheming to do me harm. The hostility in this room is so thick, I can cut it with this knife. I've known for some time that it's time to get it all out in the open. And so I did. How did I do it? With a little party game I devised. Let's call it the envelope game. By making you think that there were papers inside that can expose your deceitful nature, you each projected your worst fears upon it. And discussed them amongst yourselves. All I could do was sit back and listen. They all came tumbling out. Your little secrets. And I heard them. Roy's private investments, using my money. Tony's philandering. Deborah's failing grades. Justine's fear of her support. Beatrice's kleptomania, which my faithful servants have helped to cover up. I even learned inadvertently, thanks to a comment Beatrice made, the main secret I set out to discover. Namely, the one who's been selling my information to a Paul Jameson. That's the man who's been announcing he'd be writing one of those malicious tell-all biographies about me. I believe the Bar Association frowned such behaviors. Lauren,
I would never.
Sit down. I'll be with you later. To conclude the litany of your offenses, there's my dear, loving wife, Allegra, who told her brother she would like to see me dead.
I didn't. You misunderstood me, Edward.
Oh, I understood perfectly. Sit down. Seems the only one amongst you I can trust is Peggy Sue, my future wife.
Another one.
She's marrying me for my wealth, but at least she's honest about it.
Not just for the money, honey bunny. I love you too.
I believe you. Almost.
So what do we do now, Edward?
Peggy Sue and I are leaving. I've arranged a weekend getaway at a cozy little inn. When I return, I expect each and every single one of you to be out in this house. Soon, you'll be out of my life. Forever.
The lights!
Oh dear, it must be the storm.
Ow, my foot!
Sorry about that.
Everyone, please remain